what I believe Alvin is asking about is, yeah, instead of using profit targets, create a what's called a runner. So use a trailing stop loss as a runner instead of having a profit target, right? So a runner is, a slang term for having a profit target. I'm sorry, having a stop loss and no profit target. Yeah, so having a trailing stop loss only, and only having a trailing stop loss and no profit target. So let's do this 1.5 ATR trailing stop loss here. Right. And of course, you can go in and customize this as much as you want. So Alvin mentioned a 2 ATR. All right, so let's adjust this to a 2 ATR like so. All right, so our stop loss starts off at 2 ATRs, and then we can go into the trailing actions here. And it kind of sounds like Alvin wants to create a stepping stop loss. So not actually not a tick by tick trailing stop loss, but a stepping stop loss at fixed profit increments there. There. So I'll just rename this to stepping instead. And so let's see here. All right. So what I'll do here is I'll make a couple of steps here. So let's move the stop loss to break even at 2 ATRs of profit. All right. So I'm going to use the profit. Well, actually, let me see. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So if we're going to use ATRs here, we're going to have to go with the profit or loss trigger here. And I do need to switch over to the advanced. No, actually, no, I don't. Sorry. No, I can use the basic tab. And we're going to switch the mode to profit and switch the units to ATR. And of course, you can adjust the period if you want there. And so let's say at 2 ATRs there, right? And let's click out. There we go. So, so once we get to a minimum of 2 ATRs, that is our trigger condition. And the action will be, we'll move our stop loss to break even, right? So there, let's do entry order. There we go. All right. Now, because this is a stepping stop loss here, we do need to turn off the repeat. All right, so we're going to set this to no repeat. So in other words, this break even, let's name this correctly. There we go. So this is a break even at 2 ATRs. And so now let's actually go create the first step here. All right, so now once we get to, actually, let's do something like this. Let's go 3 ATRs. All right. So I'm just going to be using the profit or loss trigger here a bunch of times. There. Set it to 3 ATRs. There you go, 3 ATRs. And then the action, right, is we're going to take the last price and then subtract. And again, you might want to make sure that your ATR periods are all matched up there. So, I think the trigger was defaulted to 50. So I'll set the action here to a 50 period ATR as well. And then boom, right? So we'll take the last price that triggered the 3 ATR in profit and then subtract 2 ATRs, right? And again, the trigger is set to none. So this, right? So the stop loss only moves once, right? So it does a single step there. We can create another one here. All right. Once again, go into the trigger. And this time, Alvin's example says, okay, once we get to 4 ATRs of profit, then we'll tighten our stop loss. Again, adjust that period. We'll tighten our stop loss to 3.5 there. So we'll use a 3.5 ATR. Oh, actually, that made it further away. To 3.5. Yeah, that actually put it further away. Sorry. Yeah, but the point here is if you want to make a stepping stop loss, right, you can customize the stepping values, right? So the trigger determines at what profit level, each step is activated at. And then the action determines whether you want to tighten up that stop loss or whatnot. So, and let's see here. Oh, oops. Let's see. Actually, I overlooked my break even here. I overlooked that it actually had an ATR set in it. There we go. Let's remove that. All right, there we go. So the break even set correctly now. So just move to the entry price. So there's our break even. Yeah. All right, there we go. So now I could adjust my names and get them in order there. So once we get to 2 ATRs there, move to break even. When the trade reaches 3 ATRs of profit, yeah, move to 2 ATRs behind the market. And at 4 ATRs, yeah, Alvin wanted to use 3.5 ATRs behind the market. So, right. And so you can see, right, you can custom mix and match this stepping, as you see fit. So, right. And so, yeah, as you can see, right, that is one of the major differences between a standard trailing stop loss and a stepping stop loss is you do have to create a trailing rule for each stepping point that you want to move that stop loss with. So, right now we do have, so in the repeat, we do have a, let's see, where is it? Yeah, so with the repeat indefinitely, if you don't want to change the stop loss trailing distance, right? The distance behind the market, if you don't want to change that, then with the repeat indefinitely, you can go in here, and I believe we have ATRs. No, we don't. Okay, now hold on. No, all right. Shoot, I thought we had ATRs as one of the units here, but yeah, as we can see, we have ticks, we have points, and we have currency, right? So you could say, all right, so for every, hold on, every $200, right? Yeah, you can say repeat every $200. So every $200 in profit, you know, then repeat this, repeat this action there. And there we go. So we could say, okay, every $200 here, right? So every $200, currency movement, um, then move that stop loss, to the last price minus two ATRs. So that would create an automatic stepping. Well, yeah, it's a trailing that only trails every $200 in profit. Excuse me. So, so you do have that option, but right, but obviously you can see that you know the $200 is a fixed amount; it never changes, and the two ATRs behind the market is fixed as well, right? So kind of you can't create a customized tightening with just a single trailing roll there, right? So if you want to create a customized stepping and a customized tightening distance here with your stop loss, you need a trailing roll for each of those custom um, profit amounts and custom stop loss offset distances to tighten, and tighten that up there. So, all right. So I think that's what Alvin was getting at. Yeah. So Sam was asking, is there a limit to how many trailing stops that are allowed, with multiple order sets, multiple contracts? Uh, BlackBird doesn't place any limitation. No. Any limitation would come from your broker. So, yeah, so you might want to check with your broker. Um, we have heard from, I think, one or two customers, that their broker did have some kind of limitation on how many times they could move their stop loss, or in other words trail their stop loss, but that number was really really high. Yeah, it was really high, so I would not worry about it. But if there is, yeah, if you do ever get any kind of warning from NinjaTrader or whatnot, um, most likely it's probably coming from your broker. So, but whatever the case, yeah, those are things that you'll have to check with NinjaTrader with, to find out what's going on. That's not anything that BlackBird can address. So.